Welcome back to the deep dive.
Oh,
Okay, so today we're kind of setting aside the usual analysis and grabbing something a bit different. Think tactical maps and dense rulebooks.
yeah, we're diving into the world of, well, extreme TTRPG prep. We've got this profile of a veteran game master, Gregory, and his whole methodology.
And it's intense. This isn't just about running a game. It's about a whole operating system for role-playing, demanding huge commitment from everyone involved.
Exactly. So our mission for you today is to unpack what happens when nearly half a century of GMing experience meets some of the most complex, crunchiest rule sets out there.
Right. And that longevity, that's really the place to start, isn't it? 45 years.
45 years. He started playing AD&D back in 1979. That's before the original Dungeon Master's Guide was even published.
Wow. So he was part of that first wave, essentially figuring it out as they went along.
Pretty much. And that commitment, it hasn't faded. The scale we're talking about here is just huge.
Like that one campaign example.
Yeah, get this. One campaign logged nearly 4,700 hours of play over 5 years.
4,700 hours.
Yeah.
That's more than 2 full-time work years for one campaign.
It really borders on simulation at that point. But what's interesting is it's not just numbers and rules for him. There's a huge performance element.
Ah, right. The source mentioned he's a trained actor, stage and film.
Exactly. And he brings that right to the table. The goal, he says, is unique voicing for the entire cast.
And he means entire, doesn't he? Like that Hamlet example.
Yep. All 222 inhabitants of the village of Hamlet from that classic AD&D module. He apparently gives each one a unique voice.
That's dedication. So as a player, you're stepping into something really produced, really immersive.
And the player feedback seems to back that up. Words like prepared, meticulous, experienced pop up.
Yep.
Also detailed, confident, knowledgeable.
So the core idea is fun and drama, but strictly through the rules. The system is the story engine.
Precisely. Player choices matter immensely, but they operate within that tightly defined rule set. Joy, humor, tension, it all has to emerge from that structure.
Which naturally leads us to the kinds of systems he prefers. If he's stuck on a desert island.
Pathfinder First Edition. Hands down.
And his reason. I love this quote.
He just says, it's the crunchiest, nothing's crunchier, it'll crunch ya.
You got to appreciate the honesty. So the complexity, all those feats, rules, interactions in Pathfinder 1A, that's the draw for him.
Absolutely. He also keeps D&D 3.5 handy, mainly for converting monsters, he says, that fit his style but aren't in Pathfinder. And of course, AD&D, where it all started for him.
It's all about that highly structured, D20-based, complex gameplay.
And to give you a sense of what that means tactically, there's that famous battle story.
Ah, yes, the goblin encounter. How many was it?
99. 99 goblinoids in a single dungeon fight.
Okay, just for context for you listening, most RPG combats now might last, what, an hour? Maybe 5-6 rounds of actions?
Right. This single fight took 3 entire sessions, 9 hours total, and 99 actual rounds of combat.
99 rounds. So the party was basically taking down 1 goblin per round on average.
Exactly. Just imagine the tracking, the focus required. You couldn't tune out for 9 hours straight. It demands flowcharts, meticulousness, the whole 9 yards.
But here's what's interesting. Even with this focus on intense tactical combat, his mastery allows for different styles of games. He offers 5 options.
Yeah, and the contrast is pretty stark. You've got Style 1, which is your classic Dungeon Level of the Week crawl, old school stuff.
But then there's Style 5, the alternative play. What's that about?
It completely shifts focus. It's about settlement building, downtime activities, social maneuvering, investigations, even kingdom management. And get this, only 1 traditional adventuring encounter per in-game month.
So he uses that same system mastery, that crunch, to structure completely different kinds of challenges.
Yeah.
It's not just about combat.
Exactly. It's about a demanding, logical framework, whatever the play style.
Okay, so let's move from the philosophy to a concrete example. The sources included this campaign template, Fort Aegis versus Shadowgate Canyon.
Right. This is a big one. Levels 1 through 21 running entirely in Pathfinder 1, high-level stuff.
And the setup sounds epic. Fort Aegis, the last free city, guarding this Shadowgate.
Which is the entrance to a mega dungeon, basically the underworld. So the campaign structure blends a gauntlet-style mega dungeon crawl with wilderness hex exploration, classic, but dialed up.
And the maps.
Yeah.
You mentioned how detailed they are.
Super detailed. The system scales so that any hex on the big map, city, or wilderness can zoom in to its own scaled battle map. It's incredibly granular.
And the difficulty ramps up hard, doesn't it? The dungeon levels progress.
Yeah, they go from average party level -1, which is fairly standard, all the way up to APL +4.
APL +4. Okay, let's unpack that for you listening. A typical tough boss fight might be APL +1 or maybe +2. APL +4 that's designed to be incredibly dangerous,
Oh,
right?
yeah. It's pushing the system to its absolute limits. Often means huge fights, too, potentially 20, 30, even 40 combatants on the board at once.
So if the challenge is that high, the players need to start strong. Which brings us to character creation.
Right. It's strictly by the book Paizo Pathfinder 1E rules as written, or raw. No tech stuff, low tech setting.
But they get something pretty significant in return for that strictness.
They do. Max hit points at first level, which is nice. But the big one is the ability scores, a 32-point buy.
32 points. Standard is usually, what, 15? Maybe 20 for a higher-powered game.
Exactly. 32 points lets you build some seriously capable characters right from the start, almost super-heroic stats.
He gives examples like in Superhero Array 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, or focusing stats like 17, 17, 12, 12, 10.
Yeah, but that power isn't just for fun. It feels like it's necessary to survive the kinds of challenges he designs.
And it ties into party composition, doesn't it?
Right.
He warns against being a jack of all trades.
Right. He specifically cautions against salad bar multiclassing. He wants specialized experts. Your cleric, your rogue, fighter, wizard, bard. The classic roles. Because you need that focused expertise to cover all the bases in a deadly mega dungeon.
Makes sense. And even the logistics, like downtime between adventures, seem optimized for this high crunch style.
Yeah, there's a streamlined downtime system. And players can even have a second character, basically an NPC assistant, like a dedicated divine crafter or arcane crafter, just focused on making magic items while the main PC is out adventuring.
It ensures the party gets the gear they need without slowing down the main action too much. Clever.
So that's the character side. Now, moving to the actual play experience, the demands on players are just as high.
Let's talk about the VTT, the virtual tabletop. He uses Roll20 and Discord, but it's not just log on and play, is it?
No, there are technical requirements. You need a decent amount of computer memory, a fast internet connection. Because he uses large high-res color maps with full dynamic lighting, the tech has to keep up.
So it's a barrier to entry almost. You need the right setup.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And visually, he insists on using detailed miniature figures, not pogs, for tokens. High detail, specific to each character generated by him.
And one quick point, from the sources, he's adamant about creating his own lore. He's a trained author, decades of material.
Yeah, explicitly no AI text generators used. It's all original content developed over years.
Okay, so on to the specific rules he uses or emphasizes. They all seem geared towards transparency and fairness, right? Like the turn counter.
Absolutely. His motto is apparently turn-based is most based. And this turn counter is visible to everyone, tracking everything. Exploration turns, combat rounds, downtime days, the time of day, spell durations, buff and debuff timers, all of it.
So there's no ambiguity about when that haste spell runs out, for instance.
None at all. It's all right there. And they have this interesting pre-combat system, too. Before initiative.
Right. Before rolling for initiative, the party uses skills like perception, stealth, survival, knowledge.
And the results of those checks determine crucial things. Who's surprised, where everyone starts the fight, what information the party has before round one even begins.
That really elevates the tactical game outside of just the combat turns. Fail those checks.
And you could start that 9-hour goblin fight already surrounded and unaware. Big consequences.
And for complex rules like, say, cover or grappling.
He uses flowcharts internally to ensure consistency, and he strictly applies that principle. The specific rule overrides the general rule.
Like the example with magical traps.
Yeah, like for magical runes or symbols. His interpretation is strict. Unless you can somehow perceive the specific spell that created the trap, only a character with a trap-finding ability, like a rogue, can disarm it. It forces you to really know the niche rules.
Given all this intensity, it's probably no surprise that table conduct rules are also pretty strict.
Definitely. The biggest red flag he mentions, players letting real-world stuff, especially politics or religion, bleed into the fantasy game time. He wants total focus on the game world.
And the requirements for players reflect that focus.
Yeah. Be on time. Maintain laser focus. Keep your character sheet meticulously updated macros, custom buttons, tracking buffs and conditions accurately. And even role-playing is managed brief. RP is encouraged during open RP while busy times, like when he's adjusting the map or tracking durations.
It's about maximizing efficiency and focus during session time.
Exactly. And finally, let's touch on safety and content. It's high fantasy, heroic storytelling.
But with clear boundaries. The source is very explicit. No sexual content, no body horror, gore, abuse, or psychological trauma. Fantasy violence is described, but kept fairly minimal, like describing scary undead or the result of a crit.
Right. But because it is a gritty, high-stakes fantasy world, he provides a very long, specific list of content warnings for themes that might come up. Things like cults, execution, mind control, fire, spiders, suffocation, even animal death.
So total transparency again. You know exactly what kind of intense, dramatic, but ultimately heroic fantasy story you're signing up for.
Maximum clarity, minimum unwelcome surprises.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this profile of Gregory tell us and tell you listening? It seems his incredible preparation, the 45 years, the acting, the custom assets, it demands an equally high level of commitment from his players.
It really does. You can't just show up. You need serious system mastery, laser focus, and meticulous character management just to keep pace.
It creates this environment of high challenge, but also potentially high reward.
Exactly. By sticking religiously to these complex rules, the game becomes this predictable, logical system. Fair, even if brutal. The story isn't just made up, it emerges directly from how well the players navigate that system with their choices and tactics. It's earned.
It really does sound less like joining a game night and more like plugging into an operating system built for epic, demanding fantasy. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to chew on.
Yeah.
Well, he gives players immense power, that 32-point buy, ways to optimize gear. But he also throws immense difficulty at them, those APL+4 encounters, the 99 goblins. So how much does all this meticulous GM prep and system mastery actually empower the player to succeed? Versus just raising the stakes so high that it ensures a perpetual state of intense, high-stakes struggle, no matter how optimized the characters are.
That's a great question. Is it enabling victory or just enabling a more complex, high-wire active survival? Definitely something to ponder.
Indeed. We'll leave you with that thought until the next deep dive.